Anybody who can encourage creativity and imagination and daydreaming is aces in my book. So this time around on Author's Corner, Joy Morgason joins us. Her book is called A Tiny Little Dream, featuring Mosey LaRue. Wait till you hear how this story was inspired and ultimately how her family just embraces the arts and what they've gone on to do, I think is so fascinating. And this is a wonderful children's book. So Joy, thanks so much for coming on with us. What started all this?
I always like to dream about stuff and fun little different things. And I just wanted to make something different that nobody else thought of. But I always think of these kind of things because those are things I actually wanted to do. So it's like, okay, I'm going to make a book about it.
So Joy, how was Mosey LaRue inspired? I know there's a personal story there.
Well, my son Louis, when he was little, he had an imaginary friend named Mosey, and he is the little Rue. So I made her last name LaRue after him. The little
Mosey.
Rue is 40 years old now.
Wow. And tell us Mosey's story.
Oh, Mosey's a daydreamer, and she daydreams so much that she might get in a little bit of trouble at school, but she just does the most interesting things. She gets to swing on a plant and jump off and ride an ant. And she gets to fly on a hummingbird all over the sky and dive into an apple pie. She just gets to do really fun things that you can't do if you're our size. So she's tiny, a tiny little dream.
A tiny little dream. And all of that sounds really good to me. I'd like to do any of those things that you just mentioned. Even when I was
Yeah.
a little girl, I would have liked to do that. So the road to putting this together, what was that like for you? Was it really fun to take the
Uh,
name that he had as a kid, wrap this into a story, and let your imagination run wild?
oh yeah, it was just so much fun. I loved drawing the pictures. It was just I worked on the pictures for about a year, but it was just so much fun. And I just happened to be off work for shoulder surgery, so I just drew a lot of pictures and got to spend a lot of time with it. It was great. It was really fun.
I love that. So you had the time to think about the pictures and the stories you're telling us about. And did you have that ability to draw? Did you always have kind of a little knack for that?
Oh yeah, I always loved my whole family is artists, really. My mother, my aunt, and my son Louis is an artist. My son Lauren is an artist too, in building furniture and things. But yeah, we just have a family full of artists.
And I love that. So the creativity really blossomed. It's no doubt that you match that with dreams. And tell us about Louis, because I think it's worth the listeners knowing about Louis. He is incredibly successful at what he's doing.
Yeah, Louis Hennon and Paul Outlaw, they have a company called the Factory NYC in New York, and it's a fabrication company, and they do 3D printing and they do fashion shows. They did things for the Super Bowl. They made that thing that Miley Cyrus was riding on in the Super Bowl. They made those helmets for the Super Bowl. I don't know. They just do things for all the award shows and they do all kinds of stuff. And it's really fun. And they're all artists that work there. And it's great. It's really
So
cool.
it is very cool. And for people listening, can you imagine he's involved with the Super Bowl and all these big projects and award shows, and they have a huge reputation. You can look it up online, but I think it's worth mentioning it because even
Oh,
the
yeah.
name, Mosey is based on what was in Louis's head. The fact that you took that and made that into something, wrapped that into something. What does he think about the book?
Oh, he loves it. And my little grandson, Kai, he's 3 years old. He said it's his favorite book, and he has him read it to him all the time. And well, they read about 10 books every day.
10 books. And what do you hope? Because obviously you encouraged for you, your children, to be creative, and you didn't block that off? Because you see that there's a lot of art avenues get closed down. So that's sad.
Yeah.
Now, instead of it being something that's always in school, a lot of times that's something that's cut, but you've seen what it's done for your children. What do you hope this book does for any of the parents, any of the grandparents, nieces, nephews, anybody who picks this up and reads this?
I just want them to remember to keep on using their imagination and follow your dreams and just, do everything that you can do and everything that you dream and keep on using your imagination. Don't forget about it, because so many people forget about their imagination and just get all involved in just regular life. And it's just not near as fun. It's so much fun to keep on imagining and dreaming.
Boy, what's your favorite thing that Mosey did? Mosey LaRue. What's the favorite of all the things you wrote and drew? And she
I
did
think
some cool things. What was the best thing that you think she did that you loved?
my very favorite thing is flying on the butterfly in the sky. Well, and I really like flying on the hummingbird and diving into the apple pie too.
You like it
I
all.
don't know.
You
I
like it
do.
all. Who doesn't want to
I
dive
really
into an
do.
apple pie? Yeah. I love it. Wow. So creative. Does it make you want to do another book?
I actually have already done another book. I just haven't sent it off to get published yet, but it's about Mosey and she's her friends, and they go to the farm and see all sorts of farm animals and do fun things at the farm. So yeah, it's called Mosey Visits the Farm.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot you could do with animals. And of course, whether somebody is listening to us, they live in a rural area, suburb, or a big city, there's always petting zoos, or there's ranches, or there's farms. And when you're a kid, that's an amazing thing, isn't it?
Oh man, it sure is. All the animals, the horses and the goats and the sheeps and the ducks and the ponds and the hay, and there's fun things you can do with hay.
Yeah, there is fun things you can do with hay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of fun things to do at the farm.
Yeah. So we look forward to that. This book, A Tiny Little Dream, that features a Mosey LaRue. You can pick it up on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever great books are sold. And then we'll look forward to your next one. And I think this adventure is going to continue. Do you?
Yes, it is. I'm going to start with another one.
Yeah, there's more to talk about. So what a delight. What an imagination you have, and how inspiring to hear what's happened with your kids. And let's get that creativity out there pumping, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, let that imagination run wild.
yes. It's very fun and exciting.
Yeah. Joy, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. This is why I think children's books like Joy's are so important, because of what it does for kids, because of using the imagination, the world that you open up to children, that just allows them to be creative, allows them to be able to explore. I mean, imagine what Joy did for her two sons. And she talked about Louis, and the Factory NYC. She was almost being modest about it, is an absolute incredible business, because what they've done at their location, right? What they've done in New York, what they've done in Brooklyn. I mean, listen, they've taken 3D modeling, 3D scanning, laser cutting, light boxes, metal work, neon art. I love neon art, all the signage with neon art. So you can see why the Super Bowl would have them do something. Anybody related to any of these big projects, and some of what they've done for awards shows. And they pull all this stuff together, whether it's sculpture, whether it's sets and entertainment or fixtures, or events, or what have you. I mean, it's project based. You look at the projects, and it is incredible. And I can only imagine what it would be like to work with this group of people that have so many different backgrounds, when you think of painting and carpentry and the things that I mentioned. And I bring this back around again because he's a little boy. His mother encourages creativity, and for his brother as well. And then look what happens with the family. And I think there is something about that. I mean, even for people who are very much on the other side of your brain, where it's all about a different skill set. I think it opens up different worlds to you even then, and is so, so important. So what a delight to speak with Joy. Thanks to all of you for listening to this interview and this show. Make it count, everybody.
Visit www.greatwritersmedia.com. Email us at info@greatwritersmedia.com. Call us at 877-600-5469. Subscribe now.